are back. Thank you so much for staying with us. We do want to wind up our conversation with our vet surgeon, Dr. Sarat Shah. Now, I'll tell you, several years back, there was a craze on quail eggs and this quail bird. Is that an ornamental bird? Is it a normal bird? What was going on with the eggs? What was going on with you in your profession? Please tell us about that bird.
It's double. It was also used as food eggs.
Yes.
And they were also hatching them, keeping them as pets. I remember a friend of mine who bought some quail eggs and kept on the shelf for a few days, and they hatched, so they became his pets.
Oh, so it was just a craze. Those things that they were saying about them at the time.
It comes in waves. It goes and comes.
Waves. It comes and goes, comes again and goes.
Yeah.
All right. So I understand when I want to get into the business of keeping ornamental birds, there are specific permits and licenses that I need to have from the KWS. Please talk to us about why that is very important. And for someone who's getting into this business just for as a pet, just having it at home, and like for our young boys who are in the economic business, they're selling and breeding, are the permits the same? Are the specifications the same?
The best guide would be Kenya Wildlife Service. They're good people. They'll guide them, show them what is required, and they must abide by the conditions because it is for the health of the birds and also general statistics and everything. So if they go take advice from Kenya Wildlife Service, go there, meet them, they'll guide them completely. And all the licensing, they'll also explain what is required. Sometimes people say the license fees are stiff, but that's how it is.
Right. So whether you're keeping them as a hobby or for business, you have to get this permit.
Yes.
All right. Now, when we are talking about controlling the diseases, we understand we don't have the vaccines yet in the country, but we also need to control diseases like bird flu and stuff like that. Any recommendations, any regulations we are putting in place just to control diseases?
It has been put by the government in the Kenya Wildlife Service in Kenya. You are not allowed to import birds. So you do not bring disease from one country into this country unless it has gone specific tests and everything, which makes a lot of sense. Because you can easily bring disease from another country, and we have a problem here.
Right.
Yeah.
So the importation of birds...
It has to be very regulated, and I'm happy about that.
Right.
Yeah.
Good. So we are talking to farmers with regards to diversification when it comes to poultry farming. And I'll tell you one thing for sure. Right here at Kenya's Gold, we visited so very many farmers in the country, poultry farmers. Now, they say getting chicks right now is very hard. All right. So are we encouraging them to move away from the usual chicken farming to try their luck in ornamental bird farming? Is it a venture you'd advise them to get into?
From what I understand, about 500,000 chicks come into Kenya every week from Tanzania.
Yes.
So that should change. We should be able to do our own, right? Whatever is required. One thing is, I saw it in Brazil. The people were complaining about the prices of feed for chicken, right? And they were raising them on worms, just on the ground though. And they were doing beautiful. And the cost of feed and all that goes down, profits go higher, they can improve the facilities.
Right.
Yeah.
So that is something that we can do.
Right.
And our farmers can try and double up. As you do chicken, you can also do the ornamental birds.
Side by side.
On the side.
Yeah, and you see what happens, you have both the things, and after some time, you see this is bringing in more income and more well-being for my... So you consider on that one.
Right.
If I'm growing maize, you do not... this is my neighbor. If you do the same thing, it's not right. You do something different. Yeah.
Yourself, are you keeping any ornamental birds?
Yes, I got parrots.
Oh, do they mimic you? Do they say what you're saying?
Sometimes they let out my secrets.
Oh, so you cannot have a secret in that house.
No.
Right. So if you're well traveled and you know what's happening in different parts of the world, which countries are very advanced when it comes to ornamental bird farming, from your experience?
In terms of commercial, means Holland. There's Netherlands, Australia also. Australia is very strict. You cannot take in a bird, you cannot bring in a bird out of the country.
Right.
And they've got the most amazing selection of birds.
Right.
They preserved it.
Right.
Yeah.
Do we have the potential of growing as a country when it comes to ornamental birds?
Yeah, certainly. I have clients who bring in their birds from the neighboring countries for treatment.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And now it's difficult because of the new restrictions on birds coming in. So we advise on phone. We say do this, and we talk to the vet in that country. Say do this and do this. That's what. But the market is big, and you'll be surprised how many birds are exported all over the world. So if we get it right, our quarantine and everything is good, and we satisfy all the requirements, it's a big market.
Right.
Even the domestic market is not small.
It's not small.
Yeah.
So do you have a lot of clients from the domestic market?
Oh, yeah, quite a lot, quite a lot. Every day I see almost 2 African grey parrots, budgers, cockatiels, sometimes none, but we see quite a few.
Right.
And my assistant veterinarians, Dr. Joshua and Dr. Kisa, they're excellent.
Great.
They're so good, sometimes I feel jealous.
Thank you for giving us hope that there's so much potential in this agri-sector. And now I want to call in our future, our young boys, the heart and soul of Kenya's gold, Moses and David. These two are brothers, 25 and 27 years old, and they are professional ornamental birds farmers. Please give them motivation, something just to keep them going, because this is what we want to see.
The way they're holding them, they've got passion for birds. They will go very far, and I'm very happy to see them. Look at the health, they're beautiful.
Thank you so much. Kwa hivyo waendelee.
Okay.
All right. Finally, as we wind up this conversation, Moses, I'd like for you to speak to the young people who do not believe that there's space for them in agriculture. Please just tell them very quickly what these birds have been able to do for you and encourage them to get into agriculture.
Okay, what I'd love to tell my fellow youth, if you don't have maybe a job yet, maybe you're waiting for some formal employment. Like for me, I'd say when I was beginning, I was just doing it as a leisure activity to pass time as I wait for maybe some formal employment. But surprisingly, it ended up being my main hustle, I'd say.
Right.
And currently, I've done quite some marvelous things, I'd say.
Like what?
Like currently, I'm building a house, just a bungalow.
Hey.
So yeah, and this is my main hustle.
Right.
So
if you become very rich, can I give you my bank account number?
Well,
see about that.
Moses has made it very clear that ornamental bird farming is his main hustle, and at 25 years old, the returns he's getting from this business, he's building his own home. Good stuff. We like to see that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Daktari, for being with us today.
Welcome.
Thank you so very much, Moses. Thank you, David. Thank you, my ornamental birds, for making our set look absolutely great. And keep up the good job that you're doing. I'm very much inspired. Thank you so much for watching.
If you need help, come to me.
I shall do that.
Good stuff. See you again tomorrow with a lot more when it comes to all matters agriculture. My name is Violetta Ngina. Goodbye. Oh, take